Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So the success of Spider-Man No Way Home, after being out for just a couple of days really, it's smashing box office records. I think it's the third highest opening of all time for previews. That success has quickly led to Kevin Feige approving, well, apparently he's approved Spider-Man 4. So let's take a look at this Screen Rant article and the quote from Kevin Feige and the box office that's happening right now for this crazy, insane multiverse movie that's just come out. So here it is on Screen Rant. Now that Spider-Man No Way Home is out in theaters around the world and crushing box office expectations, we'll take a look at, talk of Spider-Man's MCU future is starting to heat up. This led New York Times to ask Feige and No Way Home producer Amy Pascal about what's coming next. After Pascal discussed her hopes to make Spider-Man 4, Feige came out and directly confirmed the movie is in early development. I mean, that's what they say when they are just about to greenlight something. Well, it's in early development. The surprising move comes as a result of the Marvel executive wanting to let audiences know that Spider-Man's MCU franchise will continue with multiple studios working together again. And this is what Feige said in that interview. Amy and I and Disney and Sony are talking about, yes, we're actively beginning to develop where the story heads next, which I only say outright because I don't want fans to go through any separation trauma like what happened after Far From Home, the previous Spider-Man movie in 2019. He says that will not be occurring this time, because what happened last time, after Far From Home came out, everyone was like, well, the rights deal that Sony and Marvel had is ending. Is Sony just going to go off on their own and produce a Spider-Man movie without Marvel? And how is that going to work? And I think Marvel saw that there was way too much financial incentive to let Spider-Man go to Sony, like solely to Sony. And that proved it to be the case here, because what happened? Opening weekend numbers, 50 million from a domestic box office in the US, and that's just the preview numbers. And then you've got 93.6 off worldwide box office. So this is just on the numbers, and this is only based on literally, I think, one day of numbers and previews, because I know that where I'm at in Australia, we had a bunch of sold out cinemas, a bunch of them. And this one, which I've looked at before, this worldwide number does not include Australia and a bunch of other international markets. Let's take a look at Deadline and have a look at what their prediction was. Friday midday update, which would have been a few hours ago. According to industry midday estimates, not Sony, Spider-Man No Way Home is easily heading toward an opening that's north of $200 million. Some have the Jon Watts directed MCU title between $238 million to $250 million. I'm told if the wheels fall off of Spider-Man and nosedives 50%, so a 50% drop off from Friday to Saturday, if that happens, should still comfortably land north of $200 million. So Sony has already banked $97 million for what it says Friday midday update. Wow. Which should put the Tom Holland Zendaya picture between $115 to $120 million, including the $50 million in previews. So that's the $50 million right here we see in previews on the numbers on domestic box office. So they are looking at a $238 to $250 million opening weekend. Now, if that is $238 to $250 million domestic, then you got to factor in worldwide box office. So you could be looking at, wow, 300 plus. And then in 2 weeks, I'm reckoning in 2 weeks, this will blow out of the water Shang-Chi, Eternals, and Black Widow. Well, I don't want to count Black Widow because that had a Disney Plus day and date release. I guess you can count it, but I'm not going to count it because of the Disney Plus release. So that took away from the box office. But Eternals, 100%. Eternals so far has lost money. Shang-Chi has made a few $1 million. That was an absolute triumph. It made a few $1 million. This one, when it's all said and done, I think a lot of people were saying this is going to be over $1 billion, even in pandemic era. Disney did the right thing, I think, from a financial aspect and from a fan standpoint too, because they let Sony make this movie, which a lot of people are happy with, all across the board as well. Sure, some people aren't, but across the board, man, this is making great numbers and a lot of people are happy with it. So after glowing reviews and pretty much everyone's happy with it, solid box office projections has already been greenlit for the next movie. Now, there was also this one for a couple of days ago. Tom Holland speaks out on his future Spider-Man trilogy. He's already got another trilogy in the books. When I saw that, I apparently signed on to 3 more movies. 3 more movies with Tom Holland. And then you got Sony, which can do their Spider-Verse with Morbius and all that. So it's already been greenlit, and Marvel wants a piece of that action because of the amount of money that they are going to make with this. Sure, Sony gets 75%, what I've heard, but it's still a ton of money that Disney can still get, and they get to keep some rights with Spider-Man, and they get to make more movies with Spider-Man, one of their most well-known characters. I'm happy with it after what I saw with No Way Home and where we're going to be going in the direction for the next movie or movies. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you think this is good for Sony, Marvel, Spider-Man movies going forward? Don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, share this video out there, and I'll see you in the next one.